Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today we're finally participating in a Get Creeping on Halloween challenge. This is Inky and Scrappy's challenge at the end of every month. We do Halloween cards. And today's 31st, so, well, today as of posting, I'm filming this beforehand. But we're gonna make a cute little card. Well, not cute. It's more of like a spooky scene is what I'm going for. But it's cute because I love the aesthetic of Halloween. So what we're going to do is build up this little scene using some Spellbinders 13 Days of Craftoween products. So I'm using days 2 and 7. I cut out the skull from day 2, and from day 7 we cut out everything, I think. Yep, everything. And I'm just going to create like a little book stack with the skull, and then we're going to put the candles on top of the skull instead of on top of the books. We're going to make it look a little glowy using some Distress Oxide inks and a Prismacolor pencil crayon, which matches fairly well to the fossilized amber. So if you have the fossilized amber and a jasmine Prismacolor pencil, that would be perfect. If you don't, I'll explain other methods as I'm working for getting this effect. I'm kind of experimenting today because I've actually not tried this yet. So you'll see how it turns out as I do. But I have this little tool. This is like a little package of mini sponge applicators for makeup. They got at the dollar store. You get like 8 of them for like $3 or something. So I'm gonna use this to make like a little glowy area around the skull, and then I'm gonna probably use the other end and just like ink blend a little bit of the gray on the skull, just to give it a bit of shading. The rest of it we're just gonna leave as is. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll move into voiceover and explain as I go what we're doing. Hey guys, so voiceover Liz here. You'll see during this video that this card goes through a bit of a transition. The first time I put it together, it was a little bit onto the right side of the card and not centered the way I wanted it to be. So I am going to cut it out, and then I put it on a different colored card base. There's some things I do after, because, you know, I always futz with things after the video's done, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to add this, this, and this. Does anybody else do that? Does anybody else go, this card's done, and then look at it and be like, you know what, it's not. We need to add a little bit more, because I do that all the time. And yeah, this time I just realized that it was a little bit off, and it needed a little bit more detail just because I've added in some places and then not other places, and then it looks a little off, so you gotta edit. Anyway, this card is amazing. I love it. I like the effect it has, the way it turned out. It somewhat, you know, is the vision I had originally. Like, I've had this idea for this card for a while, but originally I was gonna add like the stack of books on one side, the skull on the other one with the candles. And then I was like, okay, but then I need something else to add to it, because then it'll just be empty. So I ended up doing it in the portrait orientation because I was going to do it landscape. And then while I was cleaning, I was like, oh, what if I did it with a black background and made the candles look like they were glowing? Because originally that was also not my plan. A lot of the times I'll have like plans for like layouts or elements of cards, but I don't know what colors I'm going to work on until I actually get into it. Like, even for the books, like, I knew I wanted to do the candles red at the beginning of this card when I was doing it, because I thought it would be different than doing them in a standard, like, off-white or white kind of color. I didn't want to do it black because I was doing the background black. Otherwise, that would have been kind of cool, too. If I was going to do the background gray, like a darker gray, maybe the black would have been fine, but I liked the thought of the red candles. And then I was like, okay, well, we need to bring that red throughout somewhere else. So I ended up doing the books in 2 different shades of red. And then for the yellow, I kind of brought that in with the glow on the skull, which is what I'm working on now. I was originally going to just do this with my alcohol markers, but I was like, I have the inks and the blending tools out. I might as well just use them. So I just kind of ink blended a little bit of the yellow and then the orange around it. And then put the skull on top, so then it looks like there's something glowing from the inside. So maybe there's one of those little stubby candles on the inside making it glow, and then on the top we have our actual candles like dripping over the skull. And then I end up adding different highlights and shadows on it after. You'll see me add the highlights, but I did the shadows after off screen. I just grabbed a darker red alcohol marker and then just kind of went along those embossed lines where the dripping is on the candles, and then just like the little space in between the tall one and the short one, where they would overlap. I also added a bit there, just add a little bit more texture. Then I added dots to the skull and everything, but I should have left it. I like it plain the way it is here. And I actually like the white card base on this one, but because I cut this panel shorter, it would have been even more white because I used the next size down, because obviously I can't cut out the same panel, because that was the problem, was this panel was just too not centered, which you'll see in a minute. So I needed to cut it a bit smaller and center it properly. And even though I propped things up on foam tape and multiple layers of cardstock and everything, it still went through my cutting machine fine. If anything, there was a little bit of texture on the gold foil. There was in some other areas as well, just from my cutting plates. So maybe if you are going to do this, add a piece of like printer paper folded in half underneath it just to help protect it. But it is doable, and it will pop up again. It didn't completely flatten or anything. It's low profile foam tape anyway, but yeah, it cut out fine. It just added a little bit of texture to the gold foil, which I didn't mind, but then I ended up adding a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it because I added shading with the alcohol markers, which got onto the gold. And then when I added the rubbing alcohol to try to clean that up a bit, it just like took off the gold foil from the cardstock, so I just ended up recutting the gold and just gluing it on top. But yeah, otherwise it looks good. I like doing the gold foil on the pages to make it look like they're gilded. You could do it with like holographic paper as well, or silver, which would be fun. Here I am trying to like center it again, so you can see how off center it actually is. Here, because I'm actually kind of putting it towards the bottom corner. And then I'm just going to cut this out. And then I put it on a gray card base because I didn't want it to be so much white. And the gray kind of matched the shading I used on the skull anyway. I think I probably should have just put this back on a white card base, but you guys let me know what you prefer. I don't mind the gray. I don't have a problem with it, but I do kind of like the white better, I think. The gray helped make the skull stand out a little bit more, just because it is the only white item now on the card. But yeah, so that's pretty much our card for today, guys. I didn't do too much. It was just assembly. The whole card took me half an hour with all the like iterations and whatever that I went through, fixing it and whatnot. And you know, die cutting beforehand was probably another 15-20 minutes. So this card can be done under an hour, no problem. And it looks really cool. So thanks again for joining me for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you'd like to join along, just hashtag Get Creeping on Halloween and tag at Inky and Scrappy so that she can see your creations. And I will be back again on Friday for our regular scheduled video. So I hope you all have a great week, and until next time, thanks guys, bye.